Well, hello, my friends. Good morning. Welcome to the first Behind the Mic of 2026 with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Just doing a couple more clicks here to go live on Instagram as well. And there we are. All right. Good morning, Mad Jack. I saw you in there early. How are you doing, buddy? Nice to have you along with us again on this very first Behind the Mic segment of 2026. Haven't been in here for a couple of weeks. Actually, I have, but we haven't done any live streams. Cliff, always a pleasure, buddy. How are you? Tommy, nice to have you along with us as well. John, Paul, Happy New Year to you as well. Let me make a little bit of an adjustment if I can do this. My mic. Let me see if I can bring this down just a touch without dropping my whole camera. Let's see. Was I able to do that? Yes. Yes, I was. Hey, Tim, good morning, buddy. How are you? Let's go over to Instagram, see who's along with us. Kenny's with us on Instagram. Simpact Zone, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Waiting on a heavy wrecker. Back roads have an inch of ice where I'm at. Plow truck almost went over into the ravine. TJ, man, sorry to hear that. Glad you are okay. Glad the truck didn't go over the edge. That's going to be a pretty big piece of equipment to get you out of there, huh? Boblets Brad Boblets is with us over on Instagram. Good morning. Happy 2026 to you as well. Germfast. Joe, good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining us on this edition of Behind the Mic. Craig, my good friend. Craig, tickets are now available for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. Let me respond to a quick text here. Okay, got a lot of different things going on here at once. My name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Dapper Dan's along with us over on Instagram as well. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I will tell you who's coming up on the show in just a little bit. First, Mike checking in from Arizona. Good morning, buddy. Yeah, I see all schools closed back home because of the weather. Yeah, it was a little bit icy as I was coming in here this morning. Mike, thank you for your email. That meant a lot to me. I'm sorry that you've had to experience that, but thanks for sharing that with me. And by the way, my email address for anyone who wants to get in touch with me is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Love to hear from you. Paul, so at my club's membership meeting, the legislation report said there was a hearing about paying to bait and a DNR was MIA for. Yes, that's very true. There is a legislator, at least one, who wants to institute baiting for whitetails and elk in the Lower Peninsula, obviously elk in the Lower Peninsula. And part of her bill would be to have a bait license. The DNR is adamantly opposed to that. They want nothing to do with it. Lance, I understand that I get to talk to you. Where'd we go? Lance, I understand I get to talk to you twice today. How cool is that? Randy, my dog brother, welcome to 2026. Need some ice for fishing skinny water near for some walleye. Yeah. Am I sick, Randy, by already thinking about skinny water trolling off the Angler Quest? Is it too early for that? Am I getting way, way, way ahead of myself? Possibly. Deer Killer Godow is with us over on Instagram as well. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Brian, always a pleasure. Jim, nice to have you along with us. How is the weather down in your part of the world? Rocky, good morning, buddy. How are you? Always a pleasure. Mickey, nice to have you along with us. Yeah, Lance, it's like we got a twofer. That's true. We got turkey season first. Although Most years I go from turkey hunting to trolling skinny water, and I think I'm going to get the Angler Quest earlier this year, so I could be fishing before turkey hunting this year. That would be a goal. I'd love to. Ashton, good morning, buddy. How are you? Let's go ice fishing. You know I'm not an ice fisherman, Ashton. Although if I was going to go, your rig there, that Willcraft, would be one that I would want to take advantage of. Um, I'm not saying, Paul, I'm not saying that there won't be. I'm not saying that baiting will not be reinstituted in the Lower Peninsula. I'm only saying it won't come from the Michigan DNR. I think there's a very real chance that baiting will be allowed by the 2026 season, by this fall season, but it'll come from the legislature. And as much as I would like to see baiting reinstituted in Michigan, I don't want to see politicians making those decisions. So that makes me a little bit nervous. Mike Streeter, good morning, buddy. How are things down in the Keys? I will actually be in Florida in March. I won't be in the Keys. I'm going down second week in March. I actually leave early the next morning after our Trinity Monitor dinner. I'm not going to be worth a damn, especially since that's a time change. We lose an hour of sleep. Going down to watch my granddaughter Addison play softball in first college tournaments. Corey, how you feeling, buddy? I'm doing wonderful. How are you, though, Corey? Randy, good morning. Jerry, how are you? Foggy here in Southeast Michigan, Eli says. We go back over to Instagram. Fire Rick 0487's with us. Nice to have you along. This is something I've done on my other social media outlets forever. It's called Behind the Mic. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Paul says the fishing show this weekend looks like Sunday for us. I will be down there either Thursday or Friday, probably Friday. Probably I'll be at the Ultimate Fishing Show in Detroit at the Novi Suburban Collection Showplace. Hasn't changed its name again yet. I'll probably be down there Friday-ish. Jim, been 70 the past couple of days. Rub it in. Steve, good morning. How are you? Gretsch vetoed it in 19. I think it would go through now. Bill, good morning. Thank you, Mike. You have fun down there enjoying the sunshine. Mike, the life you have created for yourself after leaving our beloved Cedar is so cool. I look at your post and I go, this guy did it right. He dialed it in. He did it right. Because, listen, I know that wintertime is necessary and that a lot of people here in our great state enjoy wintertime and ice fishing and snowmobiling and skiing. I get it. It's just not for me anymore. I don't care if I never see snow again, except for those of you who want it. Let me put it this way. If it never snowed again on my driveway or the roadways, I'd be completely happy with it. One day at a time, Corey. Hang in there, buddy. Rod's Bear joined us over on Instagram. How you doing this morning, buddy? My name is Mike Avery. This is Behind the Mic. It's something I've done here for a long, long time. Feeling better than a month ago. Well, for sure. JT, good morning. How are you? JT, do you have the urge to get out there and do some trolling? Is it starting to wiggle at the back of your mind yet? Or are you an ice angler? And Steve, you're an ice fisherman, aren't you? I think you are. Well, this whole thing about money, this whole thing about charging for a bait license, I think is, I think it's a crime. I think it's an absolute crime. I don't think that there should be a charge to allow us to bait. And the DNR, again, I'm telling you right now, the Michigan DNR will never, ever, ever, ever. Don't I sound like what's her name, Taylor Swift? Never, ever, ever. Uh, yeah, Avery, you sound a lot like Taylor Swift. The DNR will never back the process of baiting, the activity of baiting in the Lower Peninsula. And they will certainly never get behind a bait license. because that would absolutely destroy any credibility that they have in the whitetail world. If baiting comes back, and it'll come back through the legislature, in my not so humble opinion. And if those politicians push for a bait license, shame on them. Shame on them. John says, I agree with you. It won't come from the DNR, and its permitted cost will not happen. Don't want it to happen from the legislature for the reasons you said. Need a new governor, new NRC. Yeah, we sure need a new governor. She's pretty much worn out her welcome, hasn't she? You look at the damage she has done to this state over the past several years, including how she shut this state down during COVID. It is certainly time for a new governor. Now, the good thing about a new governor is a new governor would appoint a new NRC. We need a new NRC as well. Hunter Joe, good morning, Mike. Proposal G gave the NRC exclusive authority over game regulations. The legislature should stop trying to overstep their authority. I'm not so sure that's the case. The NRC certainly has authority to manner the season and method, the manner and method of take, but the legislature also has that authority. Now, if the legislature does that, they're doing an end run on the DNR and the NRC, and I don't like that at all, but the legislature certainly has the ability to do such things. I'm not in favor of it. I don't think it should happen. Mike, good morning. Sportsman's Quest Outdoors checking in. Have a great day to you as well. JT, I like ice fishing. Might be going this weekend. Miss trolling a lot. John checking in from St. Louis. Randy had some good luck with the late doe season. Is the late doe season finally over now? Rod checking in from Clear Lake. Somebody help me out. Is the late doe season finally over, or are we still doe hunting in certain parts of Michigan? Northern Michigan sportsman Diane Broadworth's with us. W. Wiswald's with us over on Instagram. Happy New Year to you, Marty. Randy, there is some rumor about the $1 kill for deer hunters in 2026. Can you check with us at DNR about this change or just rumors floating around? I'll tell you right now, Randy, at this point, it's only rumors. Anybody who says they think they know what's going to happen for the deer season in 2026 in Michigan is just promoting rumors. There is nothing in the works. Nothing. We're not that far down the path yet. Could it happen? Yeah, sure, it could happen. And we could have a hurricane here in mid-Michigan tomorrow. It could happen. If it does happen, though, I mean, it's too early. Anybody who's floating those rumors is trying to push an agenda and trying to get the ball rolling that direction. And I don't blame them. She's gone at the end of the year, right? Yeah, that's my understanding, Paul. Eli says, I want to vote for the NRC, not appoint him. Interesting, Eli. Interesting. And I would not be opposed to that. However, keep in mind, if you open up voting for the NRC to the state of Michigan, the people of Michigan, you're going to get the same people voting on this who put Gretchen Whitmer in office and who voted down a dove hunt years ago. Art, come on in, buddy. Art Lewis, WSGW, AM and FM, and WSGW.com. We were just talking about the concept of having the people of Michigan vote for the NRC. And I said, but keep in mind, if we do that, it's the same people who voted in Whitmer and it's the same people who voted down the dove hunt. Listen, I trust the voters of Michigan, but they don't always make educated decisions.
That's the problem with any election is you don't know how informed the voters are.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Right.
I have to say I'm not really in favor of the public voting every time an agency needs people.
Right.
We elect officials to do that for us. If you don't like the way they're doing it, then you elect someone else the next time. That's it.
Listen, when this guy talks about such things, you got to believe him. You got to trust him because he
Happy
knows
New
what he's
Year.
talking. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. All right.
Michael, see you later.
Every day, WSGW, AM and FM, WSGW.com. That guy right there walking out the door is one of the best. Corey, I sure wish I could go to the fishing show in Nova. I'm going to miss it this year. Would you be working the outdoor driven group with Andrew if you were there? Tim, a friend of mine caught an 11.5-inch bluegill in the river. Used to be a lake. Unbelievable. The river that used to be a lake. Jumping back over to Instagram. Wood Raven Outdoors. These guys from Wood Raven Outdoors are the real deal. I know them somewhat personally. We have some common threads in our background. They're good people. Wood Raven, nice to have you along with us. Josh Mapes. Good morning, buddy. How are you? Mike Van Warmer. Okay, I'm getting conflicting information here. Mike Van Warmer says the late doe season goes till the 11th. Eli says late doe till the 12th. Paul says zone 3 all month. Josh Mapes is still doe hunting. Lee, happy Wednesday to you as well. Thomas saying January 12th is the last day. Extended archery season till the 31st. Hunter Joe says it's still antlerless season. Wow, I'm getting a lot of different dates here that conflict. Paul says he has proposals for convention. One is to ban crossbows before November 11th. I certainly would not support that, Paul. I support your ability to bring that proposal forward, but I would not support that amendment. Now, and he's talking about the MUCC convention. MUCC convention is going to be very interesting this year. They've asked me to kind of MC Saturday night's fundraising dinner, and I'm happy to do that. I support MUCC, but it's no secret MUCC is going through some changes right now. They've lost their executive director. They've lost many of the staff members. There is a move at MUCC to become more broad-based to improve the funding of the organization. They say, look, if we stay as a hardcore hook and bullet group, our numbers continue to decline, our funding continues to decline. And they say unless some fundamental changes are made in the way MUCC operates, there will not be an MUCC for the future. So it'll be very, very interesting how this all shakes out. I will continue to support MUCC because what other option is there? And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I'm saying if I was to turn my back on MUCC and no longer support them just because they are trying to broaden their member base, I think that'd be very short-sighted on my part, and I don't want to be like that. Scott Brown makes a very, very good point here. I don't think anyone wants Ann Arbor and Detroit voting for the NRC. That's what I was trying to say, Scott, but you said it much more succinctly and much more pointedly. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Josh, if we vote, they all vote and we all lose. November 1st, not the 11th. I would still be against that, Paul. I would still be against that. Who's on the show this week? Charlie Rood.
You're going to be meeting at your show.
Charlie walked in and he kind of took over, which is pretty par for the course. When Charlie Rood walks in, he's like, okay, I'm here. I'm taking over now. You had to ask me that. Oh, here it is.
You have 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. Who's on the show this week? My first guest this week is Sir Lancelot, Lance Valentine, who I just found out Lance is also my guest on the Offshore Tackle podcast as well. So it's like all Lance all day, all the time. Then Keel Jorgensen of Woods and Water News. In our second hour, Jason Herbert talks about the search for shed whitetail antlers. Now, it's early this year, but the bucks are dropping early this year. Why is that? And please don't call them horns. They're not horns. Because they drop, they are called antlers. If they didn't drop, like a cow or a sheep, it would be a horn. Then Ed Blisick from the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative talking about proposed legislation that would help benefit Great Lakes trolling anglers and change the way the DNR is funded. This week's Ask Avery question deals with if you are deer hunting, and some of you still are, and you're tracking an animal and you come up on it after dark and it's still alive, can you shoot it? And in our third hour, we're talking about St. Joe River steelhead fishing and more with Jerry Link of Originator Charters. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Paul, I'm not saying you're wrong. And I support your ability. That's what I love about MUCC. If you have an idea, you can bring it to MUCC and try to get it through. I'm just saying I personally would not support no crossbows before November 1st. That's just me. Hey, whatever people decide, that's fine. I imagine your freezers are looking pretty good. Let me jump back over to Instagram. Kevin, 195939 is with us. Jim, 1034.6. See, that's one thing I don't like about Instagram is I'm not sure what your names really are. Like Diane Broadworth, I know what your name really is. Oh, Kevin, I know who you are. Now I see you now, Kevin. Yeah. Nice to have you along with us, Kevin. Kevin, I had a very nice conversation with Kevin the other day. Kevin actually worked with my dad years ago. So how cool is that?
45 seconds.
Charlie, where did the 3 minutes go? Jeez. All right, my friends. I'm going to change my focus here and go from Mark's headed for the golf course. Stop it, Mark. You just stop it. Don't rub it in. Gosh, I would like to be playing golf right now. You have no idea how much I miss golf. Headed for the golf course. What is this? What kind of person does this to a friend? I thought we were buddies. Man, that's just rude, Your Honor. Have fun, Mark. 2, 1, blast off. Okay, so I'm going to change my focus from this microphone, my social media microphone, to this microphone, my official broadcast microphone. I'm going to put my official broadcast headphones on. I'm going to record the first segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. As a result, if you make a comment, I'd be Scott, where are you? Did you move? Lee, I'll be happy to, but remind me. So anyway, I'm going to record the first segment of the show. I won't be able to directly respond to you. I'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock for the first Wednesday night live of the new year. All right, my friends, have a great day. Indeed, this is the big guy, Mike Avery. Thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction. And welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on broadcast radio stations across our great state of Michigan. And as always, so glad to have you along with us as we kind of settle into this new year. You know, it's still a new year, right? And it's okay to say Happy New Year because it is certainly a new year. But we're kind of settling into it now. How many times have you written down or typed in 2025? That just goes with the territory, doesn't it? And here's an interesting fact, and I just realized this, and I don't know why I didn't realize this until now. 2026 is the 250th anniversary of our country. Now, I didn't realize that until I went back. See, I graduated high school in 1976, which was the bicentennial year. We were the bicentennial class. So, 2026 is 50 years since I graduated high school, which is just ridiculous. So that makes this the 250th anniversary of our country, which is pretty darn cool. So we're settling into this new year. Mother Nature keeps, I don't know, what is she doing to us? Mother Nature is doing what Mother Nature always does. Mother Nature is enforcing her will because she can. And we have no control over it. As folks who love the outdoors, I've said this a whole bunch of times, all we can do is go along with it and try to make the most of it and adapt to it. You know, there's good ice on the inland lakes. Saginaw Bay keeps, she's fickle so far. She looks like she wants to get some good ice and let people out there, and then things change. And I will probably go out on the ice of Saginaw Bay once this winter. And I'll go out, I'm sure, with my son James and our mutual friend Mike Smith of Offshore 8 Count Fishing. I'm just not a big ice fisherman anymore. And I get that we need to have winter. We need to have winter, number one, to replenish the water for snowfall. We need to have it for wintertime outdoor recreational reasons. So you can chase rabbits with beagles, so you can go skiing, so you can go cross-country skiing, so you can go snowmobiling, so you can go ice fishing. I get it. And I really used to be big into many, if not most, if not all of those wintertime activities. Just not so much anymore. In fact, I wouldn't care if it never snowed on my driveway and the roads ever again. Wouldn't bother me at all. You notice I didn't say I didn't want snow ever, because I want snow for your snow machines and your sledding and everything else. I'm just not... Actually, now that I think about it, I'm probably not as hardcore about any of my outdoor passions as I used to be. I'm still as passionate. I'm still as committed. I am still as dedicated to promoting and encouraging and protecting and being involved in those outdoor passions. But I think, as life progresses, the intensity level drops a little bit. I'm certainly not as intense in my outdoor activities as I used to be. I used to be as hardcore and just driving, boom, 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 day in, day out, early, late, as often as I could, as anybody. These days, I kind of pick and choose those days. Is that age? I like to think of that as experience and wisdom. So I will likely get out on Saginaw Bay this winter. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably do it one time and call it good. Enjoy that resource. Boy, we have some wonderful resources in our state, don't we? I know you can get as mad at the DNR as you want. You can gripe about the deer management. You can gripe about what else? Turkey management. Pick a topic that you don't like the DNR for, because there's a bunch of them that people don't like the DNR for. But when you look around, this is still a pretty darn good state to live in. We don't have full-blown mountains, but we've got some really nice hills up north. We don't have salt water, but we're surrounded by beautiful fresh water. We don't have the deer hunting of some of the western and midwestern, other midwestern states, but man, if you want to hunt deer in Michigan, you have every opportunity in the world. In fact, I was thinking the other day, I have to get back out to our lease property. I'm done deer hunting. I took my one doe. We've got meat for the freezer, so I'm done. But I do need to get out to our lease property and take down an elevated blind that my grandson Trent and I had put out there, months ago now. It's an elevated blind that has a fabric cover on it. So I don't want to leave that fabric cover out there the rest of the winter, all spring and all summer. Even though it's pretty tough, I just think I'm asking for trouble. So I'm going to take that down. And I had also put some plywood floors over the mesh grate at the base of that blind. I think I'm going to grab those, bring them in and take them over to storage as well. So just, kind of settling in for winter as we settle into the new year. What else is going on? Oh, speaking of deer hunting, have you noticed how early many whitetail bucks are dropping their antlers this year? I mean, way early. I'm not sure why. I have some theories, but my theories don't carry any water when it comes to deer hunting or deer in general. But they are certainly dropping earlier this year, to the point where I know of one hunter who was doing a deer management hunt, and the folks who were doing that hunt actually shot a couple of bucks who had already dropped their antlers. A completely legal harvest. It's an antlerless deer, right? And this was weeks ago now. So if you're still out there doe hunting here in Michigan, I would ask you to be aware of that. Now that that's in the back of your mind, go, okay, look real closely at that thing. Is that a buck that is dropped, or is that a doe? I have been a victim of that myself in the past. And again, it's completely legal, completely ethical. It's just something you want to be aware of. And if we're talking about shed whitetail antlers, and it's easy, but let's not call them horns. They're not horns. Why are they not horns, Avery? They're on the top of the deer's head. They're not horns because they drop. If it drops, it's an antler. If it doesn't drop, it's a horn. Elk have antlers, moose have antlers, whitetails have antlers. And you think about a moose or an elk, that's a lot of bone to grow in a few months, isn't it? Sheep have horns, cows have horns. What else? I think, pronghorn, because their sheep have horns. Pronghorns are sheep, they have horns. If they don't drop, it's a horn. The Ultimate Fishing Show in Novi is this weekend. If you are looking for some place to go, I would encourage you to check that out. I realize if you're listening in the middle of the UP, number one, have you dug out from the snow yet? But you're probably not going to make a drive all the way down to Novi for an outdoor show. But if you're in the southern part of the state and interested in it, I would encourage you to check that out. A lot of good things coming up. We'll be talking more about that in the show here this week. Some activities coming up personally on my schedule. On the 7th of February, I'm involved in a fundraiser for Brian's House in Bay City. That is a, what's the word? Charlie, when people are at the end of life, what's the word for hospice? Thank you for that. Yeah, very much. Brian's House Hospice. Then the 7th, our big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. That's at the Great Hall in Midland. Tickets are now on sale for that. If you go to one.bidpal.net/Trinity, I also have a link for that on my Facebook page. That'll be another big event. Really looking forward to that this year once again. And then on the 21st, this coincides with Outdoor Rama, again down in Novi, but the annual MUCC convention. This will be a very interesting event this year because MUCC is in transition. And the meeting on Saturday night there will actually be a fundraiser and an attempt to bring in different user groups. So that will be interesting. I continue to support MUCC, what they stand for, what they are doing, but I'm also very interested in what the future of that organization looks like. Speaking of the future, let me look into the future a couple hours and tell you who's on the radio show this week. Coming up first, Sir Lancelot, Lance Valentine, talking about the fishing show season coming up. Then Keel Jorgensen of Woods and Water News. In our second hour, Jason Herbert talking about the early search for shed whitetail antlers. Then Ed Blisick from the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative. He has details on proposed legislation. In fact, I think it's coming up for a vote that would impact Great Lakes trolling anglers and also affect the way the DNR is funded. This week's Ask Avery question. If you are still deer hunting, doe hunting, and you come up on an animal that you're tracking after dark, are you allowed to shoot it? You can't, are you? I mean, you can't go out hunting after dark. Can you dispatch an animal after dark legally? And in our third hour, we're talking about St. Joe steelhead fishing with Captain Jerry Link of Originator Charters. And we wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire, Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I would love to hear from you. All right, my friends, let me go back to a few more comments on Instagram before I go here. Cody's with us. Joe Emmett's with us. Pat Conley's with us. Chris is along with us. Thank you. I appreciate that so very much. Going back to Facebook and everything else. Jordan, how have you been, buddy? Steve, nice to have you along with us. Craig, always a pleasure. All right, my friends, I am going to go because I need to move on to recording the rest of the show. But I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock for the kickoff, the inaugural, the very first edition of Wednesday Night Live for 2026, and I hope to see you then. In the meantime, have a great day.